Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Read, Watch, Repeat, the podcast where we review books, movies, TV shows, concerts, and more, and talk honestly about what's worth your time and what's not. So, today I'm going to be talking about Who Killed Simon. So, it's based on a novel, One of Us is Lying, written by Karen McManus, later adapted into a television series released in 2021. In this episode, I will be comparing the book and the show to see how well the mystery translates on screen and which version tells the story better, in my opinion. So, for anyone who wants a quick recap or hasn't watched, the story follows 5 high school students who walk into detention. But only 4 walk out alive. So, when Simon, the creator of a gossip app, suddenly dies, the remaining students become the prime suspects, and the mystery unfolds as secrets of each of them start to come to light. So, one of the biggest strengths of the book is how it builds the suspense. I think that's one of my favorite parts. So, the novel told through multiple character perspectives, and it allowed us to slowly uncover the clues while the actual characters were learning the clues as well. It kind of felt like we were in their mind, and it was unraveling, and we were there with it. And during this, we're learning each character's secret and what they're hiding or what Simon knew about them. And we hear their thoughts directly. The tension builds very naturally, and we're constantly questioning who's telling the truth, who's hiding what. It very much keeps you on your toes. So the show tried to recreate the suspense, but the tension felt very different. We didn't get the same level of internal perspective, which I think was the main issue for the show. In the book, there's this build up, whereas in the show, they kind of just put dramatic moments in, and it kind of changed the tone of the mystery. They're just, they added Hollywood moments of like, oh, what would the audience want to keep engaged? But I wish they would have just stayed a little bit more to the book because I felt like the book was very strong by itself. So another difference is how the characters are portrayed. In the book, each character had a very specific personality, and all of them had amazing character development, but it was very specific. And in the show, some of the characters felt slightly altered, and the certain storylines were too dramatized to fit the TV format that they wanted. I didn't like the characters in the series. I don't feel like they embodied the same character personalities that they had in the book. Um, some of the acting felt off to me. It kind of felt, it was just, I didn't really like it, but I don't think it had anything to do with the actors themselves. I feel like it was more related to the script and the dialogue. It did not feel like I was watching high schoolers talk. And the actors didn't look like high schoolers. They looked like college students, or they looked way like older. It didn't feel believable, and the changes really affected the emotional moments. It just didn't feel like the characters in the novel. So I feel like they didn't do a very good job with the script, the dialogue, and the casting itself. The pacing was also very different. The book moves more steady. It's carefully revealing the clues and allowing the readers to come up with their own theories. And as the story progresses, you're kind of like, oh, like it kind of takes all these plot twists in the book. You're never really knowing what's what. But in the show, on the other hand, they sped up a lot of the certain plot points, and they stretched others out, like again for this drama. And it just changed how the mystery felt overall. It kind of felt predictable, whereas in the book it felt like a mystery. You kind of had no idea which direction it was going in, for me personally. And it said online that like a lot of viewers who enjoy fast-paced drama would like it, and the show might feel more intense. But for a lot of the readers, they did not like that, and they kind of felt like it could have had more suspense built. So, when it comes to the ending, many readers felt like the book delivers a clearer, more satisfying resolution, and the build-up was very consistent. The clues presented throughout the story made just so much sense. But in the show, they had made adjustments to the storytelling, and the changes kind of made the ending feel less cohesive and more dramatic. It didn't make as much sense. It didn't bring out the emotional aspect that I felt like the book brought out. There wasn't a shock factor. It kind of just felt like the show kind of fell flat. Like, I wish it had more mystery build up. I wish it had that suspense, because then it would have kept me on the edge of my seat. Like, what's more? What's happening? What's next? You know, like the same way that the book had for me. So, me personally, the book was a lot more engaging, and the suspense felt so much stronger, and the characters felt more authentic, which I really loved, and the emotional stakes were so much clearer. And being able to hear their internal dialogue as well, it was like the things that Simon was holding over them, we could kind of see in their brain why it was such a big deal. I feel like in the movie it was like, oh, like, that's just high school drama. Like, why are they so scared of that rumor coming out? Whereas in the book, it had their thoughts behind it, their fears behind it, their insecurities behind it. It made you understood why they were willing to do anything to keep that secret or keep Simon from posting it on his gossip blog. The show had an interesting concept visually. I feel like, it's a basic high school show. It was harder to connect with the characters the same way that I did while reading. It definitely fell flat. So, overall, One of Us Lying works extremely well as a novel because it had a strong suspense, character-driven storytelling, and it had a much more steady pace. The TV adaptation offers a more dramatic version of the mystery that could appeal to some viewers, but I feel like if you read the book, you understand why it didn't necessarily appeal to them, the show. It didn't capture the same tone as the book, and I feel like a lot of people were expecting that because, if you read a book, you want the TV adaptation to be as similar as possible, because if you're a fan of the book, you want the same storyline, you want the same emotions brought out visually. So for my comparison of Who Killed Simon, book versus show, One of Us Is Lying, definitely the book. And I would recommend the book to people. It's a book series. I think there's 3 books. I would recommend it. If you've ever watched the show and you liked it, I feel like you would love the book. And if you watched the show and you didn't like it, I think you would love the book because it's just from a different perspective and it's very different. The suspense was just so much better in the book. I really feel let down by the show One of Us Is Lying, because when I watched it, I remember being so excited when it came out because I was like, wow, okay, let's see if everything I pictured from the book was able to come up on a screen. Sadly, it didn't, but it's okay because I still have the books that I can read if I want. But anyways, guys, stay tuned for next episode of Read, Watch, Repeat, where I'll be reviewing another book, movie, or show, giving my honest take. I hope you guys enjoyed.